Dick Waterman was the 965th Engineers, bugleman and musician. They would always joke around and say to him, "Go ahead, Dick, blow it." Page 1. Marcello Sanisi, Stuart Corning Jr., William Miller, Peter Daniel, Raymond Hall, William Macchio, and PFC Joseph Hurtle, who was killed in action and awarded the Purple Heart. Albert Benecke, Edward Fry, Stanley Johnson, Richard Waterman, Charles Rumley, Ed McKeon, Francis Ricard, Harve Descato, Wilbur Wallace, Ralph Hurst, Charles Steinmiller, Harvey Martineau, Fred Norville, John Sheridan, Charles Hosier, Victor Valva and Joseph Romano. Page 2. Vernon Salt, Benjamin Miller, Joseph Petranek, Lionel Lapointe, John Bongiorno Jr., Andrew Lundberg, Mac McCloskey, Benjamin Booth, Lawrence Flanagan, Raymond Duval, Arthur Peat, Robert Klaus, Philip Bonafini, Sergeant Geese, Leo Benjamin, Harold Giacola, Amity Rousseau, Lewis Walden, Warren Jones, Thomas Fountain, Raymond Borsetti, Raymond Levesque, Vincent D. Natali and Alan Wind. Page 3. Adolph Gibbs, Abe Kornhuber, James Chillery, Michael Jazisk, Leslie Dummett Sr., William Friedenberg, August Alberti, Walter Cridgen, Benjamin Flanders Jr., Joseph Solowski, William Bennett, Jack Wall, Oscar Pfeiffer, Oza Carroll, Joseph Fabrizio, Fernando Below, Fred Smith, Charles Smith, Warren Smith, John Burney, Charles Tanamura, Kenneth Williams, Raymond Yanalovic and Bernice Bettis. Page 4. Richard Elwinger, Palmer Duckworth, Alvar Valancourt, Bertram Farnham, Nicholas Riccio, Borge Thompson, Joseph Pietrini, Delphus Room, Thomas Carnes, Galen Durdoff, Edward Broderick, Francis Rosansky, Solo Herzlinger, Robert McPhee, James Webster, Edward Shields, Walter Dusha, Private Roy Crawford. Death from non-battle wounds in France. William Goller, Stanley Tansky, John Maloney, Dominic Di Tora, George Rolls and William Moran. Page 5. Joseph D. Uriel, Elmer Flagger, Francis Thomas, Robert Martin, Arden Wilson, Ernest Freeberg, Robert Clifford, Irving Schwartz, Caspar Jasmine, Julian Lepek, Louis P. Petty, Lauren Jocelyn, Thomas Foster, Barney Cohen, Irwin Talbot, Howard Burnham, David Butler, Anatole Dion, Ellsworth Brown, PFC Joel William, died from non-battle wounds in Belgium, Arthur J. Byrne, John Mersk, Robert Vanslet, and Camille Mongeon. Page 6. Donald Holden, John Rogers, Edmund Custedel, John Nod Jr., John Lightcap, Robert Salzman, Olaf Christensen, Frank Canfield, Peter Turnez, John Daly, William Gum, Frank Ivanides, Andrew Karazian Jr., John Schenck, Francis Thompson, Timothy Pacheco Jr., Richard Whitman, Glenn Selfridge, George Rains, Donald Bacon, Norman Dorval, William Taggart Jr., Frederick Weber and Kazimierz Lewanski. Page 7. Raymond Colombi, Anthony Tarantino, Joseph Cawley, David Kesterson, Joseph Debone, Charles Graves, Guy Barrowley, Armand Chuvan, Private First Class Arthur, Clink Dodge, Joseph Powers, James Edkinson, Kenneth Lee, John Reapel, Lawrence Carr and Carl Kinney.